and welcome to GTP TV. My name's Bryan and I'm the Business Manager at Green Taylor Partners. The presentation today is part one of the Rights and Responsibilities of Employees series, where we're focusing on long service leave entitlements. The presentation today will answer the most commonly asked questions on long service leave entitlements and provide you with resources to access further information. The first question in the session today is, are casual and seasonal employees covered by the Long Service Leave Act? The Long Service Leave Act includes casuals and seasonal employees, provided that the employee has had continuous employment with one employer and there has been no more than a 3-month absence between two periods of employment. What happens if employment is terminated or an employee resigns before all leave is taken? On the day that the employment ends, an employee with at least 7 years of continuous service with one employer is entitled to receive in full payment for any untaken long service leave. It is an offence for an employer not to pay an employee the full amount of the employee's long service leave entitlements on their last day of employment. What is the entitlement to take long service leave? Now, this is for employees with 15 years or more of continuous employment with one employer. An employee with continuous employment with one employer is entitled to 13 weeks paid long service leave, taken as a break from work without loss of pay. For every 5 years of continuous employment after this initial 15 years, the employee is entitled to an additional 4.3 weeks of leave. Now, for employees with between 10 and 15 years of continuous employment with one employer, an employee will be entitled to take long service leave after 10 years of continuous employment with one employer. The entitlement is calculated on a pro rata basis. Based on the formula of 1 week per 60 weeks of employment, an employee will be entitled to take approximately 8.6 weeks long service leave after 10 years of continuous employment. Taking long service leave, when and how? The actual date the leave commences should be agreed on between the employer and the employee. The long service leave must be taken in one period, except where an employer and an employee agree to separate periods. The first 13 weeks of long service leave may be taken in up to 3 separate periods, and subsequent long service leave may be taken in 2 separate periods. Some additional questions. Can long service leave be taken in advance? Yes. The employee and the employee may agree on leave being taken before an entitlement is actually due. Can the taking of long service leave be deferred? Yes. An employee can request deferral of their long service leave. Can I be directed to take my long service leave by my employer? Yes. If you cannot agree when the long service leave is to be taken, an employer may direct an employee to take leave at a particular time by giving at least 3 months written notice. Can the period of leave be extended? Yes. An employer and an employee may make an agreement which allows the employee to take a period of leave at half pay. At what rate does long service leave accrue? Long service leave accrues at the rate of 1 week for each 60 weeks of employment with one employer. That is approximately 0.86 weeks per year. How is long service leave calculated? The calculation is the total number of weeks employment divided by 60 and multiplied by the ordinary weekly rate of pay at the time the leave is taken or the employee ceases employment. For example, Brett worked continuously for 11 years and decided to resign. Brett's long service leave is calculated as follows. 11 years multiplied by 52 weeks, which gives us 572 weeks. Divide the total weeks by 60, which equals 9.53 weeks. Brett's rate of pay at resignation was $500 per week gross. 9.53 weeks multiplied by 500 per week gives you a total of $4,766.50 gross. Brett is entitled to this payment on his last day of employment. How is long service leave calculated if the employee's hours vary? An employee's long service leave entitlement is based on his or her normal weekly hours at the time leave falls due or is to be paid out. However, in some cases, an employee's hours may vary from week to week. This may occur in particular with seasonal and casual employees. Where an employee's hours vary from week to week, The employee's hours for calculating long service leave will be averaged over the preceding 12 months or the preceding 5 years, whichever average hours are greater. Can a person who is on long service leave be employed during the period of leave? It is an offence to work while on long service leave or to employ someone who is on long service leave. However, where an employee has more than one job, for example 2 part-time jobs, the situation may differ. Can long service leave be cashed out or taken as a break? No, an employee cannot cash out their long service leave. It is an offence under the Long Service Leave Act to give or receive payment instead of the employee actually taking the break from work. An employee can only receive payment in lieu of taking long service leave if their employment ends before the leave is actually taken. Which absences from work will not break continuous employment? Any form of paid or unpaid parental leave, maternity, paternity or adoption leave, up to 52 weeks at a time, will not break continuous employment. Absences any length from work on account of illness or injury, which includes work cover absences, annual leave or long service leave, itself will not break employment. Any other form of paid or unpaid leave, for example study leave, will also not break employment. If an employee is stood down by their employer because of lack of work, their employment will remain unbroken. If an employee is dismissed by the employer but subsequently re-employed before the 3 months has elapsed, then employment will be unbroken for the purposes of long service leave. Now, how will you find out more information? Detailed advice on long service leave can be obtained from the Workforce Victoria by phoning 1800 287 287 or on the website displayed www.business.vic.gov.au. I hope you enjoyed the presentation today, and I look forward to presenting the next topic in the series. Thank you.